We're going to go over Ralford Mullings winning the NCAA title, and we're going to break down the biomechanics of some of his best discus throws ever. Remember, he got 9th in the Olympics, and we're going to start right now. Okay, so Ralford is only 22 years old, and for some reason in my mind, Ralford's like 30. I have no idea how he's 22. You know, he's just been around for so long. He's been so good for so freaking long. I want to say, if I like looking on his Wikipedia, I think he did throw 65 plus when he was like 18 or 19. So those are some really cool, just phenomenal numbers. And when we're looking at Stona, Ralford, Alekna, there's so many guys coming up that just those three alone. And I know for a fact people are going to comment with more throwers. There's so many good guys coming up. I'm blown away. But anyway, I want to look at his best throw. We're going to look at it. We're going to analyze it. And then we're going to look at some of the really cool biomechanics around how he throws so far. Okay, so I want to see his technique and what he's doing and what we can learn and what are those takeaways that we can use for a kid to take this kid. You know, let's say we have a kid walk in the door, a high school girl, she comes in and she's throwing 100 feet. We want to get her to throw 130. Or we get a high school boy and he's throwing 120. We want to get him to throw 160. What are some of those things from Ralford's movement that we can use? And I think that really, when we look at his movement pattern, he throws like in a fashion that is replicable for a lot of throwers. So I want to look at Nick Arrhenius sent me a really good angle, which Nick just threw 60 meters. He trains with us at throwsuniversity.com for 22 straight years. He's thrown 60 meters. I don't think anyone else has ever done this. I wanted to check Virgilius Alekna, but Nick trains with us at throwsuniversity.com. He's the coach at BYU. If you guys want custom programming, head over to throwsuniversity.com. You can go through our programming and see, and you can get in a technical analysis, or you can get even into that custom programming. So shout out to Nick for 1, his great performance, 2, being a great coach, 3, this awesome video. So we're going to watch it from Nick's angle, then we're going to look at the next angle after that, and then we're going to look at the biomechanics stuff, which is going to be provided by Christoph Kipp. So we're going to look at some really neat things and help you guys throw farther. Okay, so I want to point out a couple things here. Okay, look at the left side there. Look at his left arm is in line or just inside that left knee. This is going to be reminiscent of someone like Alekna, right? Mikolos has this very similar position and tends to enter with that left hip, but doesn't open the left shoulder. It's hard to enter with the left hip and not lead too much with that left shoulder. Now, if we see at this pickup point, you know, where is Ralford's pickup point? It's basically right about here. Okay, now what happens right here as he's passing? I want, if Ralford could comment on this, I want to know if Ralford's flat-footed, because typically what we see right there, okay, is very similar to Alekna, who's also flat-footed. Brian Williams does something similar, flat-footed. I'm just interested on this. I've always had this. I have some thoughts. Daniel Stahl, same thing. Okay, now, right leg is very long here as he's entering. Okay, you can see that right leg is quite long and the shoulders are very level. Okay, so he's got balanced position here. He's starting to enter. That left heel drops. Now that right leg cuts in right there. Notice right here is a really key point. His left foot is in line with his right foot. Okay, so you can really see at this position, his left foot is moving quickly. He comes off of that left very fast, and as he sweeps in, his left foot is in line, almost passing. And you can also see with that high point right there, that high point is already starting to be established up the right sector. This is a familiar look that we see with Alekna. His left arm is very long. He has a longer left arm. It's not bent. He has a long left arm. Okay. Now, as that left leg, you can see his left leg hits a high point. His foot hits a high point right there, almost, you know, right in line with his hand. Now you see the high point climb even more. This looks like it would be inside the right sector to middle of sector. And we're going to see another angle here. Left arm is still long. Okay, left arm is still long. And he's got like 75% of his weight over top of his right leg. Okay, so this is some pretty interesting stuff, pretty similar to what we've seen. And now, first point of contact here, left foot comes down. And I want to see on the other image where that is relative to his right. Looks like it's basically neutral, maybe a little bit deeper with his left leg. Notice where the discus position is right there. He's catching that behind, way back behind 180, just like Alekna. Long left arm. Look at that long left arm, right? And then he sits into this flat left. Okay. I actually had a good conversation with Isaiah Simmons, who's now the coach at UPenn. When we first started posting stuff on Throws University YouTube, this is going back 2017, 2018, he mentioned about the flat left discussion, and we can see that very clearly here with Ralford. Now let's get here as we move forward, okay? So if we're going to try and shift forward, we can see right there. Now he stays basically flat until the discus is in line with his right hip. His right knee is bent right knee. He shifts forward, and he's almost completely on top of that left. And it looks like his left knee is still flexed quite a bit. He does not extend his left knee until he's past. And look at the discus. The discus is just exiting his hand. His left foot is still down. His right foot is still down. So when we want to talk about, and he's got a pretty, his left arm reminds me of Garrett Canner's there a lot more out. Dude, that's a finish that is pretty much unheard of, right? Comes forward, and then I'm going to put a lot of money down that Ralford is flat-footed. So another win for the flat-footed crowd of just great, more ground contact. Yes, they do have some more knee issues, but it just shows there is something around that benefit. I think even Usain Bolt was flat-footed, so those are just some weird things that I think about. Okay, now that's a great throw, absolutely fantastic. Now let's go look at it from the next angle. Okay, so we analyze, we remember back here. Now we can see, you can see here too, a lot of kids, what I want you to think about is moving that right knee and hip as you enter is going to help making that right leg long. I think this right knee getting ahead right there helps that when his left opens. Also, opening your left will help the left be fast. It's opening your left, stop and get off. Open, stop, get off. Turn that right knee at double support. Okay, you can see that long right leg sweep right there, right? And then it comes down, boom. And this is what I wanted to look at with his high point. You can see there's towards the tower. That's outside the sector. Let's see if we can get a good angle here when this would be probably the highest position. Honestly, looks like it's right inside that right sector again, similar to Alekna's biggest throws. He's over top. Let's see when this comes down, when the right comes down, or the left, sorry, when that left comes down right here. Well behind 180, deeper in line with his left glute, basically. And then we can really see that right knee rotate all the way through. He actually never extends his right knee. You can see that there. Actually, he might not even extend his left knee. Let me look at that again. And I think that's one thing. Like, let's say, yeah, he does not. So let's say this is the last point of ground contact. There's still slight knee flexion, not a lot, but he shifts into the double bent knee, and the right just rotates all the way around. This is some really, really good movement. I really think what I'm going to say here, and then we're going to get into some of the technical analysis here, or the biomechanics around his throw. If we would look at very simple things, he turns in double support. He keeps the left arm in line with his left hip. His left does drop, just like Alekna and Stahl, but he gets a long right leg. He sweeps down his left. He comes off his left quickly. His left is passing his right. He hits a high point inside that right sector to middle sector, but I think he's hitting it early into the right sector. And then he keeps those shoulders back until the left grounds, and then he works grounded very, very well. That's how he got 9th at the Olympics, at the best Olympics ever for discus. That's how he just won the NCAA title, beat Alekna, huge upset. And the performances there were insane. insane. It was so deep. Men's and women's discus was insanity, total insanity. So we've got to also recognize like how good that competition was. Now, the biomechanics around what he does. Okay, we can see here, this is from Christoph Kipp. We've had biomechanical discussions with him on our podcast, and we're looking at the start. We're looking at the single support with the right foot pickup. We're looking at when you come off that left in the back. Okay, and then when the right foot grounds, when the left foot grounds, and double support, then the release. And so you can sort of see, even up here at the top position, some pretty squared and balanced positions. And there's, if you can see the plus on the screen, that's essentially looking out into the sector. Okay, so that gives us a balance point out. Okay, and then we can also see the bottom row is from above, and the middle row is from the side. Okay, so we're seeing like where his center of mass is through each aspect there, and the key positions. And you can see from the wind to getting on, if we look here, to getting onto the left side there as he shifts over, and then that left side stays pretty balanced there. And I would say on this throw, 65-29, he tends to fall in a little more than he did this past competition at the NCAA. Now, the delivery phase overlay. This is something new that Christoph's been doing that I think is really like the great snapshot of the whole throw. Okay, so you're going to see the duration of the delivery phase, like how quickly is he getting rid of it, how quickly is he releasing it. You're going to see what's his vertical center of mass, okay, at the starting point to the actual finish, right? The vertical motion, how much is he moving? Because a lot of people will think about up, they jump up, and then they come down, and so the vertical center of mass is all over the place, and it's not contributing as much to getting forward or accelerating out into the implement. So we waste a lot of energy in the air, or we waste a lot of movement, let's say, in the air that could be helping us accelerate quicker. And so one thing I want to bring up is that if you look at somebody like Sam Mattis, Sam Mattis again trains with us here at Throws University in Garage Strength. He accelerates. He basically goes 0 to 100 very, very, very fast, and doesn't accelerate as much on the finish. Okay, now somebody like Ralford in his 69 throw, or Alekna or Denny, these guys, they might not accelerate as quickly early in the throw, but they accelerate more on the finish. And so there's sort of two styles from that. And I think one's more of like a non-dominant leg fall in. The other one's sort of like a dominant leg active work. So we got to keep that in mind. Now we can see here implement velocity. Low point. I want to see this. Vertical implement path. And I wonder, I would want to ask on this, I want to ask Christoph if he thinks that, okay, so here we can see the side view. You can see quite a bit of the high point there, closer, just shy of 2 meters of the high point on this bottom left view. And I wonder if he feels so the red is the discus path. And you can even see here with this 3D, I wonder if he feels that Ralford executes a more optimal, as much as I hate to use that word, high point or orbit than he, in the 69 throw than he does in this throw. This is interesting because you can really see on this side view right here, you can see that high point into the release, right? And then you can start to even see, I love this stuff, man. This is great because you can see the low point to release path, right? The vertical implement path is 1.45 meters. The delivery, so this is showing like the importance of these things for someone, right? And then the horizontal center of mass velocity, right? So going across, the horizontal implement path is 2.5 meters, which is crazy because the discus circle is 2.5 meters, right? Isn't it? Is it 2 meters? No, it's 2.5, I think. Yeah, I think it's exactly 2.5 meters. Why can I not do the math quickly? Because the 7 foot, I'm pretty sure. I'm sorry about that one. I needed more coffee. Horizontal implement velocity, 13.57 meters per second. And then here's a big one. Hip shoulder separation angle, 33-6. I'm assuming that's degrees, but I need to talk to Christoph on that. So we're seeing some, I really like that. And now the Discus angular momentum analysis. The angular momentum analysis here would be, you can see that upward trend on the system. You can see the upward trend on his right arm acceleration. You can see the upward trend on the right side here of the actual discus. And it's interesting because the high point looks as if it might create a slowing down of the torso, and then a rapid acceleration of the torso. I could be wrong on that, but that's my interpretation. And then we're seeing these body overlay positions. So this is Ralford's throw that I wanted to go over from Oklahoma, okay, right here. And it's interesting because I feel as though he falls in a little bit more. Now you can see he does hit his high point a little bit later. He has a really good longer left arm. He still catches really well, but everything's happening slightly more delayed. Also, still great finish. Slightly more delayed than what he did at the NCAAs. Okay, it's a little bit later. He falls in a little bit more. He catches a high point a little bit later. He shifts a little bit more than he does in that NCAA throw. So he's gotten better in these positions, okay? Takeaways. Be patient out of the back. Patient on pickup. Control the left side. Long right leg. Sweep to the middle. Get off the left early. Hit a high point early. Be patient with the shoulders. Stay grounded on the finish. That's what Ralford Mullings has done to win the NCAA title. That's what he's done to freaking get 9th at the Olympics as a 21-year-old. He's got a phenomenal career ahead of him. It's great that we have access to this stuff. Thank you to Nick Arrhenius, one of the best, 60 plus. He's got a PR 66 plus. Thank you for the video. Thanks for being a great athlete. Christoph Kipp, thank you for the analysis. Ralford, thanks for being such a beast. If you guys want training, click on that link down below. Head over to throwsuniversity.com so that you can drop some bombs. Peace.